Hello friends, Namaskar. I shall today talk about the climate change and the relationship of the climate change with the water. There is a very close relationship with water and climate change. In the recent studies, it has been found that there is a inseparable relationship between the water and the climate change. In this year, we have studied that on an average, the average temperature of the world in July was the highest ever seen in the history. And on the other hand, we see in India that the July has been one of the most coldest day. So these are the two opposites. The temperature is the highest average in July this year, and if we talk about India, it was the coldest July of India. When we talk about the water, we are supposing to discuss about the drought and the melting up of the ice on the iceberg on the Antarctica, and we should know what is again happening is that the level of the sea is increasing. So why these things are happening? In a study, it has been found that the Paris agreement had said that there will be 1.3 degrees centigrade increase by 2050. But if this 1.3 degrees of increase remains constant and not goes upper limit, then the 70 trillion rupees will be devastated. 70 trillion rupees of the world will be missed, and because of the increase in the temperature of 1.93 degrees. And why it is happening? It is in the study, it has been found that the extreme crisis, water crisis country is that country. Extreme crisis country of water is that country which uses 80% of its drinkable water for its use for the agriculture and other uses. And India has achieved that status, that 80% of the clean water has been being used in agriculture and in drinking water. So India fell on in the category of extreme risk, extreme crisis of water country. And if some country uses 40% of its usable water, then it is called high crisis development country. So we have to see that the countries which are using 80% of its clean water, they are at the end of the great crisis, that they will be facing the great problems of the climate change in coming days. The water will go up, the more and more thunderstorm will come, more and more cyclone will come, and these natural disasters will occur. Nobody can prevent it. So we find that with this structure, when the 40% crisis countries and 80% extreme water crisis countries are there, we will be losing 31% of the world's GDP. That is the and this the $70 trillion rupees, and out of this $70 trillion rupees, 35 trillion rupee will be wasted, will be missed by the country, only 4 countries, India, Egypt and Turkey and Italy, Turkey and Mexico, India, Egypt, Turkey and Mexico. So we will be losing $35 trillion by 2050 because of the climate change, because of the use of this huge water, and we will be running extreme water crisis country of the world. As you already know that the 60% of area in these countries is irrigated, where the such crops are grown which require more and more water. That is the cane, that is the sugar cane, or wheat, or rice, or makkah. These will be our maize. These are the 4 countries will be losing in their 60% of the area of the production. That the production will become very less in those crops which are intensively dependent on irrigation, and in these countries 60% of the crop, which is either wheat or rice or maize or sugar cane, these are grown in the water, and they are already suffering from the shortage of water when India has already used 80% of its water. So if these things are not given into notice, taken into notice, then the further climate change will occur, and more cyclone will come. There will be more melting of the ice. Then the Himalayas will also melt. Most of the glacier will also melt. So these things will again create a problem of climate change. So there should be a new approach for saving the water, and our industries can do it. Our industries can invest in these things which requires heavy investment, and they should import or purchase the technologies used in the other countries. The best practices must be taken by the other countries, by the industrial world, and with this also our industries and our researchers should search how the water can be less used, and the methods of less using the water will be used, and if need be, then it will maybe imported also. And these kinds of help should be given by our industries to our laborers, to our agriculturists, to our agriculture section. And it is the need of the hour that we must apply these techniques, because the water is placed in the sustainable development goal at the goal number 6. As you already know that India was a country which was having a sufficient water at the time of the independence. It has nearly 2,200 kiloliter per capita, and later it has been decreased to 1,400 kiloliter per capita. And if a country comes under the 1,000 kiloliter per capita, then that will be treated as a water shortage country. So we have already decided it in our sustainable development goal declared by the United Nations, and there is an immediate need to give attention to those techniques which can save the water. And in agriculture, if we have, and our industrial sector should also give focus on these things, and they should invest and import the technologies from the Western countries for the less use of water, so that no water will be wasted, and no water should even be wasted by the common people. And if we learn to use water in a correct manner, not only for the drinking water purposes and for the other purposes like irrigation and other purposes, so we should take a plus that we should not waste water either in the form of the drinking water or in other type of water, because we have already used the 80% of the total clean water of our earth. So there is a great problem ahead in India. A food crisis in future will also develop, because the 31% of the GM of the world's GDP will be at the crossroads, will be suffering, and so the food chain will be affected. So now there is an immediate need to think by the public and by the industries and by the government. Only then we can save our nation, and only we can be able to control the mitigation of the changes in the climate. Thank you very much.